morning and Assalamu alaikum class 10. Good morning and Assalamu alaikum girls and boys. Can you hear me better? Class 10, can you hear me? Okay. Walaikum salam everybody. I hope everybody will be fine and staying safe at home. Just wait for the few seconds for the other students and I am going to start my lecture. Okay. This ongoing week will be our English Literature Week. As I have told you previously as well, that we will study English literature and language on alternate weeks. Previous week was our English Language Week, and people have submitted your English language assignments as well. And you people have submitted your English language assignments as well. Walaikum salam everybody. Walaikum salam. Okay. So what was I saying? I was telling you that the previous week was our English Literature Week, and sorry, English Language Week. Walaikum salam, Amna. And you people have submitted your English language assignments as well. And this ongoing week is our English Literature Week. It means that we will have English literature lectures in this week. So let's move towards the today's lecture. Today we are going to have our lecture number 57, and date is 8th of December 2020, and obviously it's English Literature Week, so we are going to have our English Literature lecture. Okay, so what is the lesson that I have included in today's class? In today's class, I have included your lesson number 24, and it's a poem, There Is a Good Time Coming. If you remember, previously when we were having our English Literature Week, we have completed reading and explanation of the first four stanzas of this poem, There Is a Good Time Coming. Altogether, this poem has 8 stanzas, and we have done with the reading and explanation of the first 4 stanzas. And I hope that everybody who has attended my lecture and who have watched my lecture, my recorded lecture on YouTube, they must have got an idea that what about this poem is. Basically, this poem is about a hope, a motivation, and encouragement from the poet to the young generation, to the youth. Okay, so we have done the reading and explanation of the first 4 stanzas of this poem, and the remaining 4 stanzas I have included in today's lecture. Inshallah, today we will be done with this poem. Okay. As you all know that the title of the poem is There Is a Good Time Coming. The title itself is telling us that in this poem the poet is being so optimistic. So what is the meaning of optimistic? Who is going to tell me? What does optimistic mean? Anybody who has an idea of the meaning of the word optimistic? Very good, Amna. The meaning of optimistic is being positive, being encouraged, and motivated. Okay. So in this poem, the writer Charles Mackay, he is a Scottish songwriter and a poet. He has written this poem. He is being so optimistic and positive, and yes, hopeful as well. So first of all, we are going to read about the introduction of the poem. If you remember, we have done this introduction of the poet in my previous lecture as well, but in today's lecture, I'm again repeating the introduction of the poet. This poem is written by Charles Mackay, who was born in 1814 and died in 1889. He was a Scottish songwriter. He was born in Perth. His mother died while he was an infant. Infant means a few months old, okay? Or you can say a few days old as well. He went to school in Brussels in 1828 and began writing verses in both English and French in 1830. He returned to London and worked for the Morning Chronicle till 1884 and then became editor of Argus. Okay, even I have informed you in my previous lecture as well that Argus and Morning Chronicle were the two very famous, you can say, magazines for them. For these two magazines, this writer Charles Mackay has worked a lot, and besides his extremely popular songs, some of which still alive, Mackay wrote books on travel, history. Mackay wrote books on travel, history, and biography, and was a good all-around journalist. Okay, so what is important to learn about the introduction of the poet? Repeatedly, I told you people that the date of birth and date of death, these two things are very important. The second thing is that if the place of the birth is present over there, is written over there, is mentioned over there, we are supposed to learn that as well. As for example, he was born in Perth, okay, and when he died, he was died in 1889. And the most important part of this life of Charles Mackay is that he worked for two very famous magazines. The first one is known as the Morning Chronicle, and the second one is known as the Argus. For these two very famous magazines, the writer Charles Mackay has worked a lot, and he was a very famous journalist as well. Obviously, he worked for the newspapers, for the magazines, so he was, Walaikum Salam, Cheese he was a famous journalist as well. Okay, so this was all about the introduction of the poet, and now we are going towards stanza number 5. Till stanza number 4 we were done in our previous lecture, and now I am going to take a start with stanza number 5. Let's start reading stanza number 5 first. There is a good time coming, boys, a good time coming. War in all men's eyes shall be a monster of iniquity in the good time coming. Okay, first of all, obviously, I will give you the meaning of the difficult word. The difficult word here is a monster of iniquity. And if you people are having your books with you, you can see the meaning of this word in your books as well. The meaning of this word is gross injustice. Gross injustice, or you can say unfair, means किसी के साथ ना इंसाफी, या फिर आप कह सकते हैं कि unbalanced is known as iniquity. Okay, so as I have explained you in my previous lecture as well, that this poem is all about a hope, an encouragement, a motivation. The writer is being so positive and hopeful in this poetry while writing this poetry, while writing this poem, and he is encouraging the young generation. He is encouraging the youth, the young boys. As I can see, I can say that you people are the youth. You people are the young generation, the upcoming generation. So this poem is kind of a encouragement or a motivation for you people. Here the writer is saying that that good time will be as good as the war will be considered as, you can say, unfairness or injustice. Okay, so nobody will like to have a war to get their share, to get, you can say, a power, or you can say to be more dominant. Okay, in simple words, you can say that the writer is telling us that war will not be liked. War will be disliked by everybody. No one will like the war, to have a war, to gain power, to gain energy, to gain, you can say, okay, beta, please focus on the lecture first of all. Kindly listen to me carefully what I'm telling you. This is very important for you people. Okay, so what I was telling you, that the good time will be as good, that nobody will like the war. Nobody will like the war to have a war to gain their share, to gain the power. No, the good time will be as good as I have explained you in my previous lecture as well, that pen shall supersede the sword. यानी कि कलम जो है वो किसकी जगह ले लेगा, तलवार की. सो इट मीन्स दैट यूज ऑफ the tools, the use of the weapons will be disliked by everybody. Okay, as whenever we talk about the war, while talking about the war, what comes in our mind? In our mind it comes that the use of weapons, हथियारों का इस्तेमाल, like you can say swords. So this good time will be as good. Nobody will like the war. No one will like to have a war to gain their energy, to gain their power, to gain their share. Okay, just to get their own share, their own right. What they will use? They will use pen. Pen means education, the knowledge, the wisdom. Okay, in place of war, in place of the use of weapons, pen will take their place, and by the use of knowledge, by the use of education, by the use of wisdom, everybody will be able to gain their right, to get their share, and to get the power. Okay. Now, for your convenience, I have made a slide where I have written the explanation of this poem as well, in this stanza as well. See, in these lines, poet says that a good time is about to come when mankind will hate the war as the force of injustice and unfairness. Yes, this is what I want to tell you, that nobody will like to have a war. People will hate the war as they will consider the war as a force of injustice and unfairness. The use of weapons, as for example, sword. The use of sword will be considered as a force of injustice and unfairness. यानी कि अगर हथियारों का इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा, as for example तलवार का इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा, it will be considered as a force of injustice and unfairness. People will love, people will like to get their right, to get their power, to get their share by using knowledge, by using justice, and by using their wisdom. ठीक है, अक्लमंदी के साथ, नॉलेज के साथ आप इस्तेमाल करेंगे इनको as a tool, as a weapon. Your education will be used as a weapon, your knowledge will be used as a weapon, your wisdom will be used to get your right, to get your share, and to get your power. No use of sword will be there. People will hate the wars, people will dislike the wars. They will use their power of knowledge, power of education, and power of wisdom to get their right thing. Okay? The result will be that there will be peace and prosperity in the world. Obviously, when there will be no use of tools, there will be no use of sword, there will be no use of other weapons, there will be peace and prosperity everywhere. There will be peace everywhere in the society, and the peace will be prevailing, prosperity will be prevailing in the society. Obviously, this is the common sense that when nobody will like the war, when everybody will hate to have a war, when everybody will hate to use the weapons like swords and guns and some other things, they will use their weapons of education, their knowledge, their wisdom. We will consider that, we can imagine that in that good time, the peace and prosperity will be prevailing in the society. Okay, now please tell me in the chat box, is this stanza clear? Is this stanza clear? Should we move towards stanza number 6? Class 10? Okay, okay. Now we are moving towards our stanza number 6. Okay, now we are moving towards stanza number 6. Let's start reading stanza number 6. Nations shall not quarrel then to prove which is stronger, nor slaughter men for glory's sake. Wait a little longer. Okay, first of all, I will give you the meaning of the difficult words. The meaning of word slaughter is to kill or to murder, and glory's sake means to win fame and honor. यानी कि अपने आप को पावर दिलाने के लिए, to gain the right, to gain the power, to be famous, to get the fame, it means glory's sake. And slaughter means to kill or to murder. Okay, now in this stanza as well, the same thing, the same meaning, the same theme is being repeated in this stanza as well. Nations shall not quarrel then. Now, the writer is saying that nations will not fight with each other. They will not quarrel with each other, as I have told you in previous stanza as well, that the nations will hate to have a war. Nations will dislike the war. Nation will not in the favor of using weapons like sword. What they will use to have a war, there will be a war of knowledge. There will be a war of wisdom. There will be a war of education. Obviously, when people are not using, when the nations are not using the weapons like sword, and they are using their own power of education, their own power of wisdom, their own power of knowledge. This is something you can say a healthy competition. There will be a healthy competition among the nations, among the world, among the people, and they will not quarrel with each other to prove which is stronger. Just to prove this thing that I am bigger than you, I am stronger than you, nations will not quarrel with each other. Okay, this is something very healthy. This is something very positive, that in the good time, what will happen? People will not quarrel with each other just to prove this thing that I am stronger than you, I am bigger than you, I am more powerful than you, this nation is more powerful than that nation. This will not happen in the good time. Okay, nor slaughter men for glory's sake. And the one more positive thing, the positive point is that there will be no more murders and no more killings, only to get the power, only to get the honor, and to get the fame, to become famous. They will not murder each other, they will not kill each other. Why? Because they will not like to have wars. They will use the power of their justice, their knowledge, and their education. So the writer is being optimistic in this poem. He is telling us that in the good time, which is very nearer, okay, which is very nearer to us. And if you remember the first stanza, the writer has said that we may not be alive in that good time, we may not be able to see that good time, but the young generation, like you people, the youth, will be enjoying that good time. And actually, what does this good time mean? The writer means by this good time is when there will be no war, when there will be no killings, when there will be no murders, people will use no swords and no other weapons, and pen will take place of the sword. Pen means the education, the knowledge, the wisdom, okay? And there will be no killings and murders, only for the sake of being famous, only to get the right, to get the power, and to get the glory. Okay, if we talk about the present time, अगर हम अभी के वक्त की बात करें, in which we are right now, there are killings and murders and the use of weapons. We mostly use these kinds of terms like biochemical wars. So you can say that whatever is happening right now, whatever we are experiencing in this present time, it will not be happening in the good time. In present time, we are having wars in between the nations. कौमों के दरमियान जंगें चल रही हैं. The killings are there, the murders are there. Why? Only to get the power, only to get the honor, only to be famous in the world. हम लोग ये कहते हैं ना कि अमेरिका एक सुपर पावर है. अमेरिका इज अ सुपर पावर. Yes, it means that there is a discrimination between the nations, that one nation is stronger and powerful than the other nation. But what the writer is saying to us, that in the good time, no nation will be superior or inferior. कोई भी नेशन सुपीरियर नहीं होगी और ना ही कोई कमतर होगी. ठीक है, all will be equal. All of the nations will not quarrel with each other. They will live with each other with prosperity, with love and peace. Okay, they will hate to have a war. There will be no more murders and killings only at the name of the being famous, to get the honor, to get the fame. Okay, but for this good time, we have to wait a little longer. The writer is saying to be patient, to have a tolerance, to show the tolerance, to bring that good time as soon as possible. Okay, now see the explanation of this stanza number 6. In these lines, poet says that when the good time will come, there will be no wars and quarrels between nations of the world for the sake of power and domination, and there will be no human killings for the sake of glory. You have to wait a little more. Okay, in present time, in current time, we mostly listen these kinds of things, that one nation has attacked the other nation, यानी कि एक मुल्क ने दूसरे मुल्क पे हमला कर दिया. As the examples of Kashmir, the examples of Israel, the examples of Palestine, these kinds of examples are in front of you. The nation which is, you can say, is superior is attacking the inferior nation, the inferior country. But the writer is saying that in the good time there will be no domination. ठीक है, यानी कि कोई भी तफरीक नहीं होगी. There will be no discrimination at all, and there will be no human killings. For the sake of glory, you have to wait a little more. But the writer is also advising us, suggesting us to be a patient, to show a little tolerance and patience, and to wait a little more. Okay, now is this stanza clear, class 10? Should we move forward? Kindly tell me. Hurry up, are you there? Okay, okay. So we are moving forward. Stanza number 7. Okay, now we have stanza number 7. There is a good time coming, boys, a good time coming. Let us aid it all we can. Every woman, every man, the good time coming. Okay, what is the meaning of aid? Aid means to help, to assist. Okay, I hope there is no any other word that you don't know the meaning of that word. All the words are very simple and easy. Only the word aid is here, and I have informed you the meaning of the word aid. Aid means to help, to assist. Okay, now the writer is advising us as well. In this stanza number 7, the writer is saying that it doesn't mean that we are only supposed to wait for the good time, कि बस हम लोग बैठे रहे और इस चीज का इंतजार करते रहे कि good time is coming, when the good time will come, and so on. No, the writer is advising us, the writer is saying to us that to bring that good time as soon as possible. This is our responsibility, this is our duty, to help the authority, to help each other to bring that good time as soon as possible. He is saying that every woman, every man, यानी कि हर मर्द और हर औरत को should help each other to bring that good time. Okay, as for example, if you talk about current time, we mostly blame our government, we mostly blame our management, that our management is weak, our government is not doing anything. Have we ever thought about ourselves? क्या हमने कभी अपने बारे में सोचा? what we are doing, how we are fulfilling our responsibility. Either we are fulfilling our responsibilities or not. What kind of role we are playing towards our society? Are we helpful for our society or not? So there are very minor examples. As for example, the following of traffic rules. We don't follow traffic rules. As for example, if the signal light is red, but we don't care at all, हमें इस चीज से कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. We don't follow that signal. Okay, okay. Now the next thing is that cleanliness. Are we keeping our areas clean? Are we keeping our societies neat and clean? No, not at all. Then we blame everything to the government, that government is not doing anything. For example, if I talk about you people, as you are the students, are you doing all the assignments properly? Are you coming to school promptly and punctually? Are you sincere towards your education, towards your role? What kind of role you people are playing? Beta, each and every minor effort, each and every small step will be helpful towards the society, towards the nation, to bring that good time nearer. हम लोग ये तो कहते हैं कि कब अच्छा वक्त आएगा, कब we will be advancing like the other developed nations. हम लोग, why do we prefer to move abroad? Why don't we prefer to live in our own country? For example, if I talk about our doctors, why do we talk about our engineers? Why do they prefer to move abroad? It doesn't mean that if you have studied and now you are moving towards the foreign countries to earn money, this is the basic purpose now, to move forward to get more money. No. Once we get education, this is our responsibility to serve our country, to play our role positively. This is our responsibility. Being a teacher, my responsibility is to play my role honestly, to teach you as good as I can. And being a student, this is your responsibility to do your all tasks, your all assignments very punctually, very promptly. And you have to respect your teachers, your parents. So this is your responsibility. All these small steps, when gathered together, all these small efforts when become collectively, they play a very positive role, a very big step towards the good time, to bring that good time as soon as possible. Okay, this is what the writer is saying to us, that this is not the responsibility of the management or the government only, that they are responsible to bring that good time only. No, let's aid it all we can. Yes, we all together should help each other, every woman, every man, to bring that good time nearer. Okay, so see, this is the slide now. Uh, in these lines, poet says that let us give help to bring about good time in the world. Each one of us should aim at bringing about good time in the world. We should not wait only. This is not our responsibility to only wait for the good time. When will we will be able to enjoy that good time? No, this is our responsibility, equal responsibility as well, to play a positive role to bring the good time in the world. Okay, for example, whatever we eat, when we go out, if we are eating something, we throw wrappers wherever we want. So is this a positive role? Being an educated person, it doesn't suit us to throw the wrappers wherever we want. If we are taking care of this thing, we are trying to keep our area, our country neat and clean. It means that we are helping each other to bring that good time in our country, in our world. Okay? Is this stanza clear, class 10? Should I move towards the last stanza now? Okay, so now we are moving towards the next stanza. And this is the last stanza of this poem. After that, I will conduct a question answer session. Okay, now see what is the last stanza about. Okay, Let's start reading the last stanza. Smallest helps. Smallest helps, if rightly given, make the impulse stronger. It will be. Okay, I is missing, but apostrophe comma is there. It means it. Okay, it will be stronger enough one day. Wait a little longer. Again, the one word is here. I have to give you the meaning of impulse. It's given in your books as well. The meaning of impulse means push, urge or the right direction. यानी कि to move at the right track, to move at the right path, okay? To have a right direction. Okay, now the writer is saying smallest helps, if rightly given, make the impulse stronger. What I have in my previous lecture, I have given you lots of examples. As for example, taking care of your area, to keep it neat and clean. Your surroundings should be clean. We have to follow the traffic rules. Being a teacher, I should be honest towards my profession. Being a student, you should be honest towards your duties, your responsibilities. And these smallest helps, कहने को, these are the smallest steps. These are known as the baby steps that we are taking. But these baby steps are, if we are doing these baby steps very promptly, very punctually, very honestly, they make our impulse. Impulse means they make our urge, our desires to move towards the right track, to move towards the right path more stronger. अगर हम एक काम अच्छा करते हैं, as for example, we are taking care of our job, our role in the society, we try to play our role positively towards our society. This thing will arouse our desire more stronger towards the right track. अगर आप एक नेकी करते हैं, आप एक अच्छा काम करते हैं, that good deed will make you more motivated. That good deed will make you more encouraged to move on the right direction. ठीक है, कहने को सच बोलना, ऑनेस्टी शो करना, सोसाइटी की तरफ पॉजिटिवली रोल प्ले करना, being a teacher, being a student, if we are honest towards our professions, these all are the baby steps that has been taken by us. But these smallest steps, these smallest helps, these baby steps are very stronger to move, to enable us to move towards the right direction. ठीक है, कहने को एक रैपर कहीं फेंक दिया, but you are taking care of this thing that you are not supposed to throw the wrappers everywhere, anywhere you want. You have to throw it in a dustbin. कहने को this is a very small step. कहने को this is a very babyish step. But these smallest steps will enable you to move towards the biggest steps. यही छोटे छोटे काम हमें बड़े कामों की तरफ लेके जाते हैं, and we are able to play a positive role towards our society, towards our nation, towards our country. Okay, it will be strong enough one day. The writer is saying that these smallest helps will be stronger enough one day, but we have to wait a little longer. But to bring that good time, we have to be patient, we have to be tolerant, we have to show a little patience and tolerance to bring that good time, and we have to help the government and to help the management as well to bring that good time as soon as possible. Okay, now see, here is the explanation of this stanza in front of you. In these lines, poet says that we should keep in our mind that within our own limited spheres of life, if we extend sincere cooperation and helps through smallest but with almost devotion, it would matter a lot and would motivate to those times to come soon. This is what the writer is saying, within our own limits. If within our own limit, if we are honest, we are speaking the truth, we are following the traffic rules, we are playing our role very honestly and promptly. These are very small efforts, but these are the efforts which we can do by living in our own limits. अपनी ही हदूद में रहते हुए, अपनी ही लिमिट्स में रहते हुए ये जो छोटे छोटे काम हम कर रहे हैं, these smallest efforts, these smallest steps move towards the stronger ones. Okay, he assures that it will be strong one day when the good time actually comes in the world. This is what the writer is saying, that these smallest steps, these baby steps will lead towards the stronger ones one day, and when the good time actually comes in the world. I hope the stanza explanation is clear to all of you. Okay, now see, the central idea is in front of you. Before writing the central idea of the poem, you all know this thing, that you have to add one line, the name of the poet and name of the poem. This poem, Good Time, There is a Good Time Coming, is written by the poet Charles Mackay. Now from the new line, you will start writing the central idea. The central idea of the poem is that an era is to come when there will be no war, because there will be a radical change in the outlook of people and nations. Okay, radical change means a change from the root, from the base, यानी कि जब बुनियाद से ही, बुनियादी तौर पे ही changes आ जाएंगी. Radical change means a change starts from a root change. आउटलुक लोगों के नजरियात में, देखने के अंदाज में. दिस इज व्हाट an outlook change, that people will hate to have a war, people will not quarrel with each other, people will dislike to use the sword. In place of sword, what they will use their knowledge, they will use their education, they will use their wisdom. This is called a radical change, यानी कि रूट से ही, जड़ों से ही इंसान के नजरियात में जब तब्दीली आती है. दिस इज कॉल्ड रेडिकल चेंज इन द आउटलुक ऑफ द पीपल एंड नेशंस. आउटलुक मीन्स योर विजन, आपका नजरिया, आपके देखने का अंदाज. द पोएट चार्ल्स मैके इज ऑप्टिमिस्टिक that in future nations will agree to code of national behavior, humanity will emerge from the dark nights of wars and destructions and hail down of a new better era of peace and prosperity. This is what I am telling you repeatedly, when people will hate to have a war, when people will not like to use the weapons, obviously there will be peace and prosperity prevailing in the society everywhere. Okay, here the writer, as I have told you when I was starting the lecture, I was telling you that in this poem the writer is being optimistic, the writer is being hopeful, and the writer is encouraging the young generation, to you, to me. The writer is motivated us that we should not lose our hopes. We have to be hopeful, and we should equally play our role towards the management, towards the government, to bring that good time in the nation, in the world. Okay? Okay, now we have theme. One line theme is here in front of you. Hope sustains the world. In simple word, the meaning of this sentence is उम्मीद पर दुनिया कायम है. This is the theme of this poetry. Hope sustains the world. Basically, being a Muslim, this is our faith. ये तो हमें हमारा दीन भी सिखाता है कि we should not be hopeless. We should be hopeful. We should be motivated. If we are hopeful, we are motivated, we will try again and again. At last, we will be able to achieve our goal. We will be able to achieve our target. But if we lose our hopes, we become hopeless, then Allah will absolutely not help us to achieve our goals. Allah helps those who try hard, who try again and again. Allah ताला ने क्या कहा है कि मेहनत आप करें, कोशिश आप करें, सिला मैं दूंगा, फल मैं दूंगा. So this is the basically theme of this poetry. Hope sustains the world, उम्मीद पर दुनिया कायम है. Okay, I hope this lecture is clear to all of you.